I think I just made the prettiest Valentine's nails ever. Soft pink to white ombre, dreamy aura, and 3D details. It's giving luxury. And I found some game-changing polygel hacks to make this look even easier. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let's get started. Before we start, let's take off my last set, my 3D bunny nails. These nails actually lasted 4 days using the cuticle oil peel off method. Everything stayed on except my thumbnail, which popped off when I was fixing my hair. To take them off, I'm using a metal tweezer. I just find a small gap at the side of the nail and gently lift. Once I get under the nail, I wiggle the tweezer back and forth a little, and just like that, no soaking, no damage, no mess. So let's do one more. Just lift, wiggle, and it's off. Alright, now that my nails are off, let's get into the nail set. But first, I finally got my hands on this. This is the MelodySusie P Plus 20F rechargeable nail lamp. It's wireless, which already makes it super convenient, but what really caught my attention are the features, because this isn't just a regular nail lamp. First off, it has a physical UV protection design, meaning it reduces direct UV exposure to your hands, which is great if you're concerned about skin health when doing your nails. And this part is super unique. The 240-degree rotatable panel lets you adjust the fit for different hand sizes and even has a specific section for your thumb, so everything cures evenly. The on and off button is right at the top, and it has two timer settings, 35 seconds and 65 seconds, so you can control how long you're curing. The charging port is right below the button, and what's cool is that it's completely wireless when in use, so you're not stuck near an outlet. Plus, it actually shuts off on its own after a while, which is great if you ever forget to turn it off. So let's put it to the test. I'm using it to apply my nail tips today. Let's see how it works. But before we get into applying the tips, let's do some quick nail prep. I'm starting by pushing back my cuticles to create a clean base. This helps prevent lifting and gives a smoother application. Next, I'm using my cuticle nippers to remove any dead skin. This step is optional, but it makes a difference in how clean the nails look. Then I'm using my e-file with a sanding band to gently go around the cuticle area and lift up any extra dead skin. Now I'm using a buffer to remove shine from the natural nails, which helps the base coat stick better. And of course, I'm dusting off the excess dust so nothing gets trapped under the gel. For this set, I'm using the cuticle oil peel-off method. So if you ever want an easy way to remove your nails without soaking, this hack is a game changer. I just rub cuticle oil into my nails, making sure to fully cover the surface before applying gel top coat. Then I apply a thin layer of gel top coat and cure for 30 seconds. I actually do 2 layers to make sure it holds up. Now that the base is prepared, it's time to apply the nail tips. I'm using extra long ballerina nail tips, and as always, you want to make sure they fit sidewall to sidewall for the best hold. Since this nail lamp doesn't sit high enough on its own, I placed it on the box to give it some extra height, which made applying the tips way easier. To apply them, I added gel base coat to the well of the tip and then placed it on my natural nail. This lamp doesn't have a 15-second cure option, so I used the 35-second setting, but I didn't leave each nail under for the full time since I'm still flush curing them. Once all my tips were on, I did a full cure to lock them in place, and I was actually really happy with how this lamp cured them. It worked perfectly. Now let's see if this lamp can cure polygel just as well. Before applying polygel, I'm using my sanding band to remove the shine from the nail tips. This helps the polygel stick better. Next, I'm applying gel base coat to all of my nails and curing it in the MelodySusie lamp. Now it's time for polygel, and I'm starting with this milky white polygel I got from Temu. It's actually one of my favorites from this kit. Now I'm applying my first layer of Milky White Polygel. I place a bead at the tip and I'm using my brush dipped in rubbing alcohol to work it into place. I'm patting and evenly distributing the polygel across the nail, making sure the surface is smooth and the sides are tapered. Then I fade the polygel into the nail bed so there is no harsh line. This is key for getting that soft ombre effect later. Shaping polygel is a constant back and forth. I check the sides, smooth the surface and remove any excess before curing. And here is a game-changing hack. Before curing, I flip my finger upside down so I can check how the tip looks. If the sides look too bulky, I remove more polygel to make sure the shape stays tapered and balanced. This is an easy way to catch mistakes before curing so you don't have to file off extra bulk later. And after curing, I always do a quick hardness check. This nail actually cured really well. Now I'm doing the exact same thing on the pinky nail, patting and smoothing and making sure the sides stay tapered. But you might notice the nail lamp behind me is now closed. When I was doing the index nail, I had it open, but it was honestly taking up too much space. Since I have a lot of gel products around, keeping it open was risky because it could accidentally cure things. So I just closed it in and it's way more convenient. Since I'm curing one nail at a time, I only need the thumb section, which saves space and makes everything feel more organized. Honestly, I really like this lamp. For the pink, I'm using this polygel from a cart called Love Struck, which is so fitting since I'm doing a Valentine's set. And you might notice the lamp is slightly opened again. That's just so I can see the countdown and make sure I'm curing for 35 or 65 seconds. I like knowing exactly how long it's curing. Now I'm applying a bead of the pink polygel at the nail bed area and patting it down to evenly distribute it, making sure it's not touching the cuticle. Before blending, I like to create a clean line across the nail. This helps me control the fade and keeps the ombre even. Once the line is set, I start blending the pink into the white, making sure the fade looks soft and seamless. I always check to make sure the polygel isn't flooding the cuticle, and once everything looks neat, I cure. Honestly, I take my time curing because I don't want to make mistakes. I'm doing the exact same thing on the pinky nail, patting, blending, and making sure everything is neat before curing. Now, you can leave the nails like this, but here is a small trick that makes a big difference. I'm adding a thin layer of Milky White polygel at the tip and blending it into the pink. This softens the ombre and makes it look even more seamless. It's subtle, but you can really see the difference. It takes the ombre from good to perfect. Once I'm happy with the blend, I cure, and I did the same thing for the pinky nail. Now I'm moving on to applying the pink polygel to the middle nail. I start by placing a bead and distributing it evenly across the whole nail. I always start at the cuticle area, making sure it's neat and not touching the skin before working the polygel down towards the tip. Then I pat and smooth the polygel across the nail while removing any excess because I definitely tend to apply too much sometimes. Before curing, I always flip my finger upside down to check if the shape is balanced and the nail stays tapered. And I do one last check around the cuticle area, making sure there is no flooding before curing. Now I'm applying another layer to build the apex, but here's something I've learned. You don't need a super thick apex for strong nails. I place a bead at the nail bed and distribute it evenly, but instead of making it too thick, I focus the strength in the middle and then fade it into the rest of the nail. This way, the nail keeps its structure and strength without looking bulky. I remove any excess polygel, smooth everything out, and cure. Now I'm doing the exact same thing on the ring nail, but I'm just showing quick clips to keep it moving. And the same thing for the thumb, applying, smoothing, and making sure everything looks clean before curing. Before moving on, I just wanted to show you guys the curing beads in the thumbnail section of this lamp. They're actually placed on one side and the top. Just a cool little detail I thought I'd share. Not sure why, but I found that interesting. Now I'm encapsulating the ombre nails with clear polygel, making sure to cover the blend so everything stays seamless. Oh, and can we talk about how this lamp and I are literally twinning right now? The colors match my nails perfectly. So cool. Once everything is even, I cure. Next, I'm using rubbing alcohol to remove the sticky layer from the nails before filing. For filing, I mainly used an 8080 grit hand file to refine the shape and keep the sides crisp. Then I went in with my e-file around the cuticle to make sure everything looks super clean and blended. I also used a sanding band to smooth out the surface before buffing. And finally, I buffed the nails to remove any scratches. Here is a quick game-changing hack. Instead of just wiping the dust off, I spray my hands with rubbing alcohol first to break down any leftover dust. Then I used a lint-free wipe to clean everything up without leaving any residue. This makes sure your top coat applies super smoothly. Now I'm top coating all the nails except the ring nail and curing. The nails are coming together, but we are not done yet. Now I'm using this jelly pink gel polish from my Born Pretty kit that I unboxed in my Amazon haul. I'll try to leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. For the aura effect, I start by applying a small amount of the polish right in the center of the nail. Then I'm using my ombre brush. I softly blend the edges out to create that diffused aura glow. Once I'm happy with the blend, I cure. I did a second layer to build up the opacity so the color looks even more vibrant. I'm doing the same thing on the pinky nail, applying the polish in the center, fading the edges and curing. To save time, I top coated the pinky nail while curing the index nail. So once the index nail was fully cured, the pinky nail was already ready to go. Small time savers like this makes a huge difference. Now I'm using white solid gel because I'm creating a 3D heart design on the middle nail. I placed the gel in the center and started shaping it into a heart, but I had to remove some because it was too big. Once I got the right size, I made sure the edges were clean before curing. Before curing, I placed silver caviar beads all around the heart for a framed effect. I thought it was cute, but it still felt like something was missing, so I decided to press a tiny heart glitter into the 3D gel to create a puff effect. Then I added a glitter lip and a 4-point star sticker, pressing them into the 3D gel before curing. This gave the heart even more dimension, and I was finally happy with it, so I cured. Now I'm using this iridescent glitter from a cart, and instead of just applying it dry, I am mixing it with top coat to make a custom glitter gel. This makes it way easier to apply evenly, plus it seals the glitter so there's no mess. I applied a thin layer to the ring nail for a soft sparkle effect, then I cured. Now it's time to bling out the entire ring nail. So I applied rhinestone glue before curing. I'm not gonna lie, this part was time consuming and a little stressful because I overthink rhinestone placement way too much. I kept adjusting and moving things around. And after what felt like forever, I finally got it right and cured. Then I applied more rhinestone glue between the gems to make sure they were fully sealed so they don't snag my hair or pop off. Once everything was locked in, I cured again. At this point, I was so confused, I didn't know what else to do. The idea I had before just wasn't feeling right anymore, so I went into panic mode. I decided to apply the glitter top coat to the index nail and the pinky nail to tie everything together, and honestly, it helped. Next, I added cuticle rhinestone to the middle nail because it felt like it was missing something. I'm still not 100% sure if I love the placement, but at this point, I just had to commit and move on. For the thumb, I added a rhinestone cluster and caviar beads to give it some detail. Oh, and I also added rhinestones to the index and pinky off camera just to complete the look. You'll see them in the final reveal. To keep rhinestones secure, use a small brush to apply top coat between and around the stones without flooding them. This seals everything in and makes sure nothing lifts. And here's the finished set. These nails are so dreamy, soft, and perfect for Valentine's. From the aura ombre to the rhinestones and 3D heart, everything came together so nicely. And I have to say, the MelodySusie lamp did an amazing job curing everything. I loved how convenient it was. If you're interested in trying it, use my code CHERELS for 12% off on their website. I'll have the link in the description. Let me know in the comments what you think of this set, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more nail content. See you guys in my next one. Bye guys!